Jai Hind, friends, and today we welcome you all in the second interactive session of this Kargil series. And today we are really honored to have Group Captain Anupam Banerjee Sir with us. Group Captain Anupam Banerjee was a young flight lieutenant during the time of Kargil War, who actively took part in the Operation Safed Sagar. Sir had been the PRO and spokesperson of Indian Air Force from May 2016 till he retired from this prestigious organization in February 2021. After a glorious service of 29 long years in Indian Air Force, today Desh is really honored to have Group Captain Anupam Banerjee with us, who will today share with us the role of Indian Air Force in the Kargil War. We will know from him about the bravehearts of Indian Air Force whom we have lost in Operation Safed Sagar.
Uh,
Dada, yes, welcome to our Vartalap.
Thank
And
you. Thank you very much. Yes, when I look back, it's almost 20 years plus. This is the 22nd year that Kargil has passed, and when I think back and look back, it's as if it was just a matter of yesterday. Yes, one of the most memorable times in my service as a fighter pilot in Indian Air Force. And of course, nobody wants a war, but if there is a war, it is always the dream of a soldier to be actively taking part, because that's what you are trained for. So I will say that I'm extremely lucky that I got this opportunity during Kargil War. During Kargil War, I was in 9th Squadron, which is popularly known as the Wolf Pack, and we are flying MiG-27 ML aircraft. And we were located in the Punjab sector, but when the Kargil problem started, then there was there were indications that everything is not right. So this was the time when we were moved to Srinagar, and when we moved to Srinagar, we realized that something is going on in the borders, because there is to be a lot of injured soldiers who were used to be evacuated from the Srinagar air base for the further medical thing, and the number of people that they were going was higher than normal. So something was on that we knew, but those are not the times of internet and other things. So uh, we are only aware of what we are told, and as soldiers, we are supposed to do what we are told. We focus only on that part. So we are told to be on our readiness, which we were. Uh, it all changed with one day the chief of the air staff, then Air Chief Marshal Anil Tipnis. He came over for a incognito visit to visit the base. Why I say incognito? Because nobody was aware in the base that the chief was coming. And I have a very interesting incident at this, because I was, in the crew room, what we say that for our the underground bunkers where we normally are. So we are doing some work when my commanding officer came and told me that there is a briefing, and you come along with me to uh, brief something. I got a message from the station commander. So I went with the commanding officer, and my commanding officer was wing commander of Tarsi. So he took me in his gypsy, and we were going. And when we were very close to the other end of the runway from where we are operating, he said that I was told to get you to the helicopter dispersal. So you just go there while I'll park the vehicle and come. So I went there and I saw the AOC's gypsy also coming in from the other side, and he told me to get inside a helicopter. Now I was not ready for that, because I was told that there was a briefing on ground. So when I entered the helicopter, I was a little anxious that I don't know where I'm going, and the CEO has not told me anything. There's a time I found somebody entering the aircraft who was not wearing any rank. I clearly, because he was wearing a cap and not wearing any rank, some kind of a colored overall, which was not a standard Air Force overall also. So I didn't pay much attention. And when after some time the helicopter got airborne, there was another gentleman who was also wearing uh, an overall and not wearing any rank. He was also inside, so he just called me. So I was not sure whether who he was. So I went and I said yes. He said that, "Are you Flight Lieutenant Banerjee?" I said yes. "You're a fighter pilot?" I said yes. He said, "Go inside the cockpit. The Chief of Air Staff wants to talk to you." Now that was a great surprise for me because I was not even aware that I'm in the same helicopter as the Chief of Air Staff. So when I went in the helicopters, there is a place where you can sit between the two pilots. I sat. The pilot was, you know, then Wing Commander Sinha, Veer Chakra. He was the CEO of the helicopter unit, and I saw the Chief of the Air Staff is also flying. So he asked me that which aircraft I'm flying, and he said basically I wanted to see the area, and I want to uh, know and hear about the area and the flying from a young officer's point of view. So when I was then we were in the helicopter, he asked me various questions, and when I when we saw the area and we are coming back, then he said that. Yes, be ready. Uh, we need to do something. And he asked me, should we do something? As a young flight lieutenant, I said, yes, sir. I mean, if our army friends are in a difficult situation, this is the time we should rise up to the occasion. And he said, good. This is what I need to hear. And he said that yeah, we will be supporting them. Now you see. This is a great moment. Here is the Chief of Air Staff, and we have not dropped a single bomb in anger from 1971. And we, in 1999, and a young flight lieutenant. I was 1 year old in 1971. And 1999, here I am sitting with the Chief of Air Staff in a helicopter, flying over an area where I'm aware that there is some kind of a conflict going on, and my Chief of Air Staff is saying that we are going for operation. So there was butterfly churning all over your tummy. This is the moment you have been waiting for. Uh, and then we landed back, and there was a briefing by the Chief of Air Staff. By then, the air crew has been uh, uh, they were assembled to Srinagar from all over the Western Air Command, and he told us, and he briefed us. And next day, of course, was the first mission. So it was when the first day when you're going with your live armament, it was a really a I have, I mean, I just think I'm extremely lucky that I could see that day. Everybody, the airmen, the air warriors who are preparing your aircraft, they're also very charged up because now they know that the bombs and rockets are going to be fired on the enemy. And the people, when we are taxiing out of the aircraft, the people lined up on both sides, they're saluting us, and it was a different kind of a charged atmosphere. So yes, I mean, thereafter the operation started, and it continued for quite long. And I was fortunate to take part in many live missions. So it's difficult to recount all of them in a short discussion like this. Uh, but I would like to say a few things. Is that the Indian Air Force took part in these operations. It was the first of its kind for any air force to take part in a live operation at such high altitudes, where the enemy was almost in minuscule numbers in various uh, hilltops, and they were occupying the advantageous position because they did not, as you are aware, they, they did not honor the agreement and understanding which was there between India and Pakistan of vacating those posts during winter. So we were backstabbed. like our neighbor is very good at doing it often. So for an air force to take this kind of targets was a very unique for the first time, because we are basically trained to destroy larger targets with and just not pinpoint hill targets and things like that. But we had to quickly change our tactics. We had to quickly change our approach, and I must say that Air Force did a fantastic job. Today, after almost 2 decades have passed, if I look back, I'll say that the Air Force leadership adapted very well to the challenges, and very quickly we could make ourselves very effective in the operations. Uh, Another moment of my, thing was in this mission in which Flight Lieutenant Nachiketa and Squad Leader Ahuja. If you remember that incident, so I was actually the overall mission leader of that mission, and it was the target for us was a logistic dump called Muntodhal. It was it was one of the targets in the entire operation where you could actually see the enemy camps in the tents and other things because of its location in a sort of like a bowl-like structure. And there are very important ridge lines which are leading to some posts from there, where from they could directly interdict the road which was going to Ladakh through Kargil, Leh through Kargil. So it was a very important post for them. So our target was that, and we 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 did carry out successful attack. But after the attack, when when my our formation's number 4, Flight Lieutenant Nachiketa went for the attack, so his engine had a surge, and because of that, he had to eject over the enemy territory. But he had already fired his weapon on the enemy, and he thereafter had to eject very close to the target that we are attacking, and he actually landed up with the enemy soldiers. And there was a our mission had a element of photo recce, which was being led by Squad Rahuja. And because now this had happened, he was helping Air Force to locate where is the aircraft and what is the location, so that the search and rescue effort can be directed. So this was the time he was also shot, and these stories are very well known, how he was tortured, how Nachiketa was taken as a prisoner of war. Uh, I can tell you the other side of the story, that as the leader of the mission, when we are coming back, and I knew that one of my formation member had ejected, it was a very tensed moment. It was I was just praying for his safety, because we know that he has ejected over the target area where we had just bombed, and if he by chance falls, and at that time in the cockpit, I'm not aware what has happened to him. So, by chance, if he falls in the hand of enemy, what will be his fate? Of thoughts. I was just a flight lieutenant, not of too many years of experience. And by the time I landed back, and I came to know that along with that, Flight Lieutenant Nachiketa's aircraft, coordinator Rahuja's aircraft was also been shot. So, uh, it was those moments which you wish you don't face as a mission leader or as a fighter pilot. But in any war, there are such setbacks. The important thing, like they say, is not to have those setback and to get bogged down by it, but to rise up and fight against. That we did well. We gave it, and that is evident with the result after what we did, and with the valiant effort of our um, army soldiers. And there are some of the stories of folklores. So you in Desh Foundation is well aware of all those stories. And I've seen you, Adrija, in the Kargil Memorial when we are celebrating 20 years. I can only tell you that sitting in front of that Tololing hill, all sort of emotions were passing through my mind, because Tololing was one of the targets, and I had bombed Tololing top, and here I was sitting below the Tololing peak, with the national flag fluttering with this windy valley of the, Dras. Uh, it was an uncanny feeling, and I was feeling very proud that I could stand up and, along with my other comrades, uh, get counted at a time. All my training I could put to some use to the, for a national cause, to the cause of the Air Force. And at the same time, there I was feeling nostalgic about some of the friends whom we have lost, who are not there with us. I was remembering all of them. So, as a soldier, it's always a mixed feeling. A war, you lose many close people, but at the same time, at the end of the day, when you are able to achieve the goal that you have set out, as a soldier, that's I would say the final achievement. So, yes, if I look back, it was really a proud privilege for me to take part in the Kargil War. Anything else you want to know?
Yes, sir, if you can say in detail about your, about your personal experience when you have flying over Tololing and the bombing and before and after.
Yeah, if you ask for a personal experience, I will say something which as a person I was really really very much shocked in one such incident. There was an army officer called Lieutenant Kanat Bhattacharya. He was a cousin of one of my close friends, classmates. So, when I had gone to Kolkata in one of my visits to my hometown, he was Kanad was planning to join the army, and I spoke to him over telephone because he wanted to know how's the life. And of course, like an elder brother, I told it's a great life and you must join. So I was not aware whether thereafter he joined, and but when the Kargil operation was on, one day I got a call from my friend. In those days, it was just a landline. So somehow my friend managed the phone number and he called me and he said that his cousin is, there's no details is known about him. If I can find out. So I checked out and they said yes, I mean, his whereabouts are not known, but if something is known, it will be told. So one day I had gone to Dras. It is not Dras actually. The name of the place is Mogalpura, which is just north of Jozila. We had gone there for a briefing, and I had gone in a helicopter. So when we got down, the briefing got over, and we were about to come back. So one of the army JCOs came and asked me, "Sir, we have to put a mortal remains in this helicopter." The captain, he thought I'm the captain, but I told him I'm not the captain. So I'm the captain, of course. I mean, when the mortal remains was placed, I saw the name written on that, and it was written Lieutenant Kanat Bhattacharya. So he was I mean, what do I say? I mean, somebody whom I just spoke and I motivated somebody. But these are the time when you also get your resolve. I will not use big words like revenge or something, but you feel that the sacrifice that people have laid down their life, that should not go in vain. You must do as a professional whatever you can uh, towards that. There are various such incidents during Kargil because it was spread over a long time, and numerous missions you have flown. Each mission, if I have to recount, all of them have their own charms. I when I look back at my logbook today and think of those missions and sorties, it's a very nostalgic moment. Uh, but suffice to say, as an as a professional, we were we did our bit, and we all it was a long operation, so we all stuck to each other. We all stuck to our basic trainings, and end of it, all's well that ends well. We could evacuate and evict the enemy from those heights and could get back whatever the land was justifiably ours. Uh, yes, with some losses, sacrifices, but when you're in a difficult neighborhood, this kind of things happen. होना नहीं चाहिए, but yes. So it is a feeling of mixed bag, and really is a. I mean, when I look back, I feel very proud to be part of that entire operation.
Sir, you had worked with Squadron Leader Ahuja before Kargil any time?
No, I have not. But you see, what happens that when you're working from the same uh, crew room, because during Kargil, what happened that one or two squadrons were sharing the working area. So we were working, and I can tell you a personal incident which happened is that, when the operation had not started, so 2 3 days before, I had gone to a shop, and I was buying something for. I was just married, newly married, so I was buying something for my wife, and I didn't know that that particular piece was already selected by somebody. So when I went for that, I saw that Scholar Rauja was also there in the shop. So I told sir, I didn't know that it was you had chosen it. So he said, no, 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 you are very newly married, so you have the right over this. You know, I have told this story to Mrs. Ahuja, Alka ma'am, that ma'am, this is what happened, and he was a great person. Um, in fact, that particular day when we were working for the sortie, uh, he pepped us up as one of the senior people. It was great, and he was the flight commander of 17th Squadron, and the commanding officer of 17th Squadron, which was co-located with us, was Wing Commander B.S. Danoa, who later rose to become the Chief of Air Staff. And I had the proud privilege to serve under him as the public relation officer and spokesperson. So life comes a full circle. So it was those days are actually, I mean, I actually feel that it's kind of a time. When I look back, I try to convince myself, yes, I have lived those days, because at times now it appears like, did it happen? All these things so many years back, it appears like maybe I
Dream.
was there. It is like a dream. Uh, so yes, I think all of us did rise up to the challenge.
Sir, actually, what you were saying that ये होना नहीं चाहिए, but uh, as as we were at our teenage during the Kargil War, we can still remember that this news of both Squadron Leader Ahuja and Captain Saurav Kalia, that actually united the nation at that time. I mean, तब तक न्यूज आ रहा था कि लड़ाई चल रही है, देयर इज अ टफ सिचुएशन इन बॉर्डर, देयर आर सम कॉन्फ्लिक्ट्स एसेट्रा एसेट्रा, बट these two news actually, I mean, it made us realize that the harsh reality of war, that what is happening there. And it was a time when the nation was absolutely on anger for
Yes, of
this.
course, because you see, there are certain basic principles which soldiers go by.
Absolutely.
And what are those principles? The principles that you are fighting for your country, the enemy soldier is also fighting for his country.
Yes.
So the enemy soldier deserves each bit of respect, because he is also laying down, and he's as much sincere to his country as I am. So the last thing that anybody expect from a professional army, and we all know by now that it was a professional army who was
Absolutely.
when people died. The last thing you expect is that basic dignity of a human being. And
True.
in both these cases, what happened and way the bodies were returned, it was very evident that they were definitely not treated like a prisoner of war or a soldier. And we have got conventions which are to be followed between civilized nations. So
Absolutely.
that anger was, of course, there, because you don't treat your soldier. And if you look at contrast to what happened, what the Indian armed forces did, that when they actually went and captured some of those hides, and when uh, the enemy Pakistanis have, abandoned their dead and have evacuated those posts. Indian armed forces at those heights where it is so difficult to even carry your own weight, they gave them a proper religious burial as per their religion
Yes,
and as per their custom, so that the enemy is given that last respect. But I must say also this, that everybody is not like that. There are incidents where some prisoner of war, where the soldiers were not treated badly. But if you take the number of incidents in which people were treated badly and their bodies are mutilated, they were far too many for any civilized nation. So those were the things which angered the entire nation. And because fighting a war is one thing, and your own soldiers being treated like that is another thing. This is
absolutely.
what angered the people. This is what, and these are the things which angered us also. So I can only say that I was extremely lucky that I could vent out my anger, and I'm sure many in the country would have loved to do that. So that way, I will say that God has been kind, that uh, I could do my bit on the front line.
Here, sir, when you say that you got an opportunity to vent out your anger, so here I will love to share one uh, small video clipping of yours that will take you back to 1999.
Thank you.
Was it?
No, I couldn't see it. So
No,
You
still
couldn't
not
see it.
visible. Still
Okay,
not
okay,
visible.
one second, one second, one second.
while you're trying to load this, Adrija, I want to play some record that
Sure,
you
sure.
guys are doing a very, very good job. Desh is, I know you all are really doing a good job by keeping in touch with the family of the people who have lost their life, and you've been doing it for a long time now. So it's
Thank,
one thing is talking about it, that how grateful the nation is, and another thing is doing it. So from on behalf of all the soldiers, I'm taking this opportunity to thank you all for doing a wonderful service, and God bless you all in
thank you
Team
so
Desh.
much.
Thank
Thank
you
you.
so much, sir. It
It's
really
because of
means a lot for us.
people like you. We soldiers really feel that whatever we're doing, it's every bit of it is worth it. And thank you
Thank you.
very much for that.
Thank you. I will just see now if it is.
Probably it is coming. Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
We are lucky people, fighter pilots. We could vent our feelings, anger by dropping bombs. They can't do it. For them, they give their feeling like this. You missed some nice ones, like, well, one was, this is a sixer from Sachin for Akram. One was this is to Imran from Zenith. And there are numerous ones. You had to see them. This was to Nawaj with a thing with a lot of awaj.
When the operation started, we were getting into operation as Indian Air Force after a long time. So the first day, I still remember when we are taxiing out on the first day, there were men on both sides of the taxi track. They are saluting with, generally, there was a lot of josh. And we as pilots, like I told you then also, we had this opportunity to vent our anger by dropping a bomb. Thank you for
Sweet.
sharing. Pooja. The first thing is that I'm missing my uniform. Moment I saw myself in uniform and the flying overall and the uniform, yes, it takes some time to sink in that you have retired. But thank you for sharing. Yes, these are the moments which you want to live again. And probably if I'm born again, I'll choose to become a fighter pilot for Indian Air Force again.
Amazing.
Sir, almost we are at the concluding stage of this conversation, wonderful conversation. Uh, we just would like to have some message from you for the younger generation,
Yeah,
because
I'm more.
those who we experience the Kargil war, we are now almost at our 40s. So the the young generation,
Uh,
Kargil is just a story for them now.
You see, every generation have their own challenges. The present generation is facing the challenge of COVID. That's no less than a war. I mean, who could think that it is there? So I will not give any message. I will just tell this much that if you love your country, you have got various avenues to contribute towards the country. It's not necessary that you have to be only in armed forces or to be a soldier. Look at the service what the doctors are doing right now. Human service. I don't consider them anything lesser than a frontline soldier. Knowingly, they are also going and fighting a war against this invisible enemy. So when you love your country, be a true professional. Most importantly, have the integrity and the courage to stand up to the occasion. And as long as you have all these basics in you, the courage and the integrity and the professionalism, whichever profession you are in, you can, and never stop dreaming, because I come from a very uh, you know middle class background of no military background. I dreamt to be a fighter pilot just by looking at some odd plane flying here and there. And so any dream can be fructified, provided you have the passion to pursue it and you work for it. And
Here
having
actually
achieved
someone
that,
asked. Here actually
and
someone asked how you joined the Air Force.
oh, I joined through a National Defense Academy exam that was
Yes,
way
yes.
back in
What motivated you?
1989. What motivated me was I was in Srinagar. I went as a tourist with my parents when I was in 10th standard, and I saw a MiG-21 zipping past Dal Lake.
Wow.
So, I mean, I looked up in the sky and I said, "This man has got the life which I want to be in." And I just was lucky enough to pursue my dreams. A lot of people have dreams which they can't finally fulfill, but I'll say God was very kind that I could work, and end of it I could achieve my dream. So if you say a message, or it is this only, that don't stop ever dreaming, dream big, because it's only when you dream big you will be able to work to achieve it, and have your head and heart in sync with each other, and anything is possible.
Thank you so much, sir. Uh, so we now have to conclude the session. And thank you so much, sir, for giving us the time today.
Absolutely.
And today we listened so many unheard stories and the experience of a fighter pilot who took part in the Operation Safed Sagar.
And it is
And
first time for us, Desh, to listen directly from someone like you who fought the
exactly.
war.
Thank you
So I
very much.
mean, first time some air warrior actually narrating
Exactly.
his experience to us.
Yeah, because Air
Exactly.
Force had a very important role in Kargil War.
Yes.
Absolutely.
So it is. I mean, I don't know how it is not probably very well documented as of now, But Air Force had a very important role in Kargil War, and it worked in great synergy with the Indian Army to achieve that result. So yes, thank you for giving me this opportunity to tell some of the incidents that I happen to be part of. And once again, I want to thank Desh for the human service you are doing. Keep
Thank
doing
you
that,
so much.
because when you
Thank you
do
so
that,
much.
people like us get motivated more to do something for the country, which is remembering you in such a great way. Thank you very
Thank
much.
you so much.
Sure, sir.
Jai Hind.
Jai
Jai
Hind.
Hind.